is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Now we are into the official first week of seeing preseason football. Some teams are playing their starters, some teams are not. Generally, week 2, usually the bad teams, like my Dolphins, they played their whole first team offense and they looked great against a second team defense. But I think we so far have come out fairly unscathed moving on. So I probably jinxed the entire football league. So apologies to the next guy to get injured. But we are into preseason, ready to get on. How's everything going, JJ Way?
I mean, it's going. I don't really watch too much preseason football. I might watch a highlight here and there, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Like back in the day, I'd watch it all the time because I thought it was relevant. But now it's just not really fun to watch unless you're into like wanting to know like some random guys. But I mean, that's about all it's good for.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of it. I read a lot about it. I just threw it on. I wanted to see the Dolphins kick off and see them actually do something good because the rest of the year is going to be terrible. So seeing them look sharp against the Commanders' awful defense, and I was like, oh, maybe this is a sign for the year. Who knows? But yeah, so it's good to see, like, hear of some of those guys if you're in Dynasty, especially we focus on Dynasty. I'm sitting there like, what names are popping all of a sudden? A couple of names like Caleb Douglas, the receiver for the Dolphins, is actually popping. He was the guy that they laughed at when he got signed, but when he was drafted in the 3rd round from Texas Tech, but dude's long and thin and had an amazing like one-handed catch by being tackled by a dude. It's like, sad. He might be their wide receiver 1, which makes him a good wide receiver 3 flex maybe for your dynasty team this year if you're trying to like plug a guy in there on a bye week even and see what pops out of that. So
I'll let you have him.
Don't worry. Our league did when they sniped me on every other guy. I ended up having to draft him because he was the only guy nobody wanted.
Yeah,
in the league, the one that you dropped, the one that you're not anymore. That's what happened. They took all my guys. I had not a lot of money, and they just kept sniping me. And I was like, nobody wants the Dolphins receiver. So I got Douglas, who he's actually looks good. The other kid there, Coleman, who was hot, has been nothing.
To be fair, a lot of people look good. So
yeah. There are a lot of people. There's a couple people look pretty bad. I mean, you're looking at the Browns quarterback situation. It's like Manning might be their quarterback next year.
Yeah, but nobody thought they were good.
Yeah, it's true. I read there are some true like Shador truthers.
Sure, there's some true Shador truthers, just like you're a true Miami truther, and you think they're going to be good at some point. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they made a catch in the preseason because they're supposed to. I hope they succeed. I hope they all succeed. But I take everything that happens in preseason with a grain of salt. Some of these guys aren't even going to play.
Oh, yeah. We're looking at names like we talked about. I was looking at some of the rankings from last year. We're doing running backs this week. Caleb Johnson. Talk about a name that nobody knows. He got into the doghouse in Pittsburgh, and now he might be their kick returner. People thought maybe with McCarthy coming in, he gets second chance. Nope, they signed Rico Dowdle. Caleb Johnson is a name of the past as far as it's concerned. So
but at least Caleb Johnson, when he was drafted high. Yeah. Or in rookie drafts, he was drafted pretty high. So I mean, there was a consensus that he could play.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of like Stribling apparently out of the 49ers, who like the first pick in the 2nd round. Everybody's like, "Who's this kid?" And he's apparently looking great over there. But it's what happens when you're the guy that doesn't get hurt by the power plant next door. It helps you to stay healthy, I guess. That's all we got from there. So a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. If anybody that's a fan or listens to the Fans Curious, I'll put this out there, is a small business or a small business owner and you want to promote your business and you want to be part of a fantasy football league, check out Fantasy Turf Wars. We are filling the league now, hoping to get teams in there. There's a cost to join because it gives you free website processing. The guy that runs the league, Corey, does web design stuff. He's willing to work with teams. And there's also prize money that you can win as being part of Fantasy Turf Wars. Check that out, fantasyturfwars.com. Email me anywhere at the Fantasy Couriers at gmail.com, or you can hit me up on any socials and I can get you connected to join Fantasy Turf Wars. It's a great experience, a great way to grow your brand nationally because it'll be part of the podcast and things as we go throughout the country. Also, check out Fast Draft. You're getting some of those drafts in. Go to download the Fast Draft app, use the code Couriers. You can get up to $50 matched, and you can do some fun little drafts before you do your redraft league. And then halfway through, remind me, I want to talk about Susan's league, which I think fills up this week. So ladies, check out, do it now. Let's get it for her. My girl Susan Carone, the she's the Gridiron Goddess. She was on the show last year. She's doing the Gridiron Games. Check out her website. It's linked into our podcast. You can go in there. $15 to enter. It's only for the ladies. So if you're a lady, you know a lady, you got a friend who's a lady, have them jump in. 20% goes to Galvanize, help empower women in sports media. Check it out. It's a big giant tournament of women learning and growing and doing fantasy football together. Check it out. Have a great time. And now let's get into our stuff. This week we are going to talk about running backs. Running backs, running backs, running backs. The greatest, most frustrating part of a fantasy team because they can either lead you, break you, and they've been dwindling for years, but last year was a healthy year. So we might be lured in here to a little bit of fool's gold. Are you a little nervous for running backs this year? Because they went back to where running backs used to be king. Them wide receivers thing. And last year they were healthy. That was the key. You think we're going to come back to earth this year, or could there be something in the training that we're going to stay healthy this year?
I mean, you really can't predict if they're going to stay healthy. I mean,
Well, that's their job. What do you think?
but I mean, I don't know if they're going to stay healthy or not. They touch the ball a lot and get hit by a bunch of big guys. So, I mean, if they all stay healthy, sure. I mean, they'll be great. But I mean, I can't tell you that. Yeah, none of them are going to be injured, and the running backs are going to take over. I feel like uh, teams might be coming back a little bit. I mean, they did because everything's reciprocal. I mean, people like passed a whole lot, and then defenses catch up to that, and then then the offensive have got to change a little bit. They go back to a more run heavy scheme, but they still pass a lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be healthy. I mean, if they're healthy, sure, they're great.
So if you moved up, will you be more likely? You're usually a running back heavy guy, right?
I mean, I
More
don't
so
know. It
than
depends
receiver.
on where it falls and who's there. I'd like to have a good running back, one good running back, and then after that, I feel like you can kind of make up with the rest of them a little later. But I mean, I'd like to have a good number one. I don't want a bunch of number threes on my team. I really am not a fan of the zero RB of the R zero RB philosophy because it just looks you, you just don't feel confident about your team when you see two running backs that are flex positions at the best on your team, and that's who you're starting.
And it's been hard. I've noticed this year. I'm not full zero RB, but I've pushed the boundaries sometimes. I like receivers getting them earlier more, but it seems like everybody's in that. You got to know your leagues. Everybody is drafting running back so heavily and early this year that if you go zero RB, your starting running back is gonna be like Isaiah Davis for the Jets or something crazy because the running backs are just going heavy and early. So I might have three really good receivers, but my problem is then I'm starting a third string running back. So it makes it harder than it was in recent years where people were sort of in between and bouncing around. That's what I've in early draft at least in some best ball and some stuff I've been doing. I've noticed. So JJ Wang, let's go through. Let's get us through running backs. These will be listed on our website later on, and mine can change throughout time. JJ Wangs will talk through. Last week I did some changes and some fun, interesting things within here. So let's go for it.
Yeah, these are definitely going to change as I go through because I thought like so this was instead of going through and like fixing it all week. So this was my initial like my first tier ranking thing. So I thought it would be interesting to make the initial ranking and then talk because as I talk through things change a lot. But I would like to see how I end up at the end of it as far as where these tiers actually end up after talking through them. But the first one's kind of basic. I got Robinson, uh, Jameer Gibbs, top guys. I throw McCaffrey in there, but I'm not going to lie. The injury worry does come up to me for McCaffrey. I mean, you shouldn't look at it that way, but there is a worry there. So he's on the fence whether or not he should be a tier one guy. Uh, the biggest thing is if you go back and look at all the people that have 450 carries the year before, the next year is usually pretty bad. And there's not too many guys that have back to back seasons like that. So if you're drafting McCaffrey to be like the guy he was last year, you might be a little disappointed, and that's going to that's going to make him kind of a bust. I mean, if he finishes RB 10, you're going to be kind of disappointed, right?
Yeah, and I think the thing McCaffrey is always so hard when it comes to rankings because you can't you do weigh it in, but you can't go, oh, this guy's going to get hurt. McCaffrey's not hurt yet, but if McCaffrey plays, he's in a tier by himself. Even
Sure.
like he's that strong, so we'll put him in here. If McCaffrey doesn't play, yeah, you're totally screwed. But I think we're hitting that with any of these. Let's say Bijan in week one tears his ACL, we don't know, crazy little things like that. So I think McCaffrey's where he is. He just scares you because of the history and because of just straight stats, like that 450 thing of all those touches. I mean, I think we looked at what Derrick Henry was one of those guys that had a bunch of back-to-back great big heavy load seasons, and still tried. So if McCaffrey's in on the field, he's the player one because he's basically a receiver and a running back that you're getting, and he usually falls about 3 or 4. He might fall after Chase sometimes. So the Gibbs has been going one a lot recently. I still have Bijan as my one, and McCaffrey and Gibbs. I'm with you on those top three guys, as to where they are, and that those guys are above and beyond because of hands, because of running, and because their offenses run through them. Gibbs had that. Regardless, they all have Gibbs and Bijan have some great receivers behind them. McCaffrey's got Evans now and Kittle, but the offenses without those three guys would be totally different on those three teams. Whereas other teams, I think they could adapt to a point.
Yeah. So my second tier, I feel like this one could probably almost be separated into two tiers, depending on how you wanna look at it. I got Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Ashton Genty, Kyron Williams, and Achane. I think the first, I think the first four are pretty. I'm pretty confident to being here at in tier two. The last three, Barkley, Williams, and Achane. Barkley fell a lot last year. Does the slide continue, or does he just maintain like 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, which is fine. Um, Kyron Williams, I mean, all this, I mean, he had 300 carries last year. He's the Rams' number one running back, but there's a lot of talk that maybe, it won't be the same this year because they got the backup. What's his name? Uh,
Uh,
Blake
Corum.
Corum. People are thinking he's going to get a lot more touches. Kyron Williams, but he scores the touchdowns, and I've seen a stat where um Stafford threw like a lot of 1 yard touchdowns. And instead of throwing those 1 yard touchdowns, if they can run in 5 or 6 of them, I mean, that would go to Kyron Williams. And I think Kyron Williams kind of stays like right here in this general area. But if you've seen him as not in that necessarily top of tier two, I mean, tier three, and then separating out two or three a little more. And Achan has been great. But like this team is not going to be very good. They're not going to be very good for. I know they say running quarterbacks help out the running back. Blah 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 blah. But that really goes with like a good running quarterback. I like Malik Willis. He looks good sometimes. I mean, he looked pretty effective in the preseason game. I guess he looked pretty effective with a couple opportunities he got in Green Bay. But when teams are putting forth their best defense and effectively knowing that if we just make sure Malik Willis doesn't run, the rest of the offense I feel like is going to be pretty crappy. So Achane in tier two, sure, just because of what he's done over the previous season, I feel like he kind of deserves it. But I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence.
And he's one that I fanboyed him. I don't know. Like I really think HN could be anywhere from 4 to 27, and it's hard because you look at guys who were the top of their running back. Steven Jackson played for how many years? He's a bigger back than HN, but he was the focal point of that offense, and he was a top running back all of those years, and never went to the playoffs. The Rams were absolutely putrid. So to me, of this bunch, he's the hardest one because I don't know what to expect from the team. I mean, sure, as I said earlier, they look nice playing the Commanders garbage team. But if they're going to feed him the ball, are they going to run some RPOs? If so, that's going to alleviate some thing on him. Or is Willis going to just run? That's going to screw Achane. So we don't. It's a big question mark. Knowing like everybody's, we're assuming the Dolphins are going to stink. That they're playing either for a top quarterback or I'm rooting for Jeremiah Smith next year because I like Willis. He's a nice guy, and I hope something pans out with him. But He's of them. He's the hardest. Like I've been low on Taylor, but seeing Taylor get that, he got that extension, that contract extension, renews my faith in him. Like, hey, okay, so you got these young guys. You're not going to play them. They're going to run Taylor. They threw some money at him. He's going to run through Marion Hampton. I love a Marion Hampton. Could I see him being the top of this tier by the end of the
So
year? You have him in tier 3. Oh, you have him
I,
in tier 3. So he's not
I
even
got one question. Why is James Cook 11th after what he's done the last 3 years?
um, because that's where I'm putting. Because I'm putting him
So
behind.
he doesn't he doesn't deserve to be above Chase Brown. He doesn't deserve to be above Kyron Williams, Aston Genty, Devon
Well, you didn't put
Achane.
Chase Brown in. I was going to say I will.
He's on a better team. That offense is not going to really change. He's still going to be the RB1. We all feel like, there's going to be somebody to take over his spot. Well, the last 3 years, nobody has taken over his spot. And we all say, like, well, this can't happen again and that can't happen again. And guess what? It continues to happen. So why are you so low on Cook? Barely have him as an RB1 when he's done nothing but finish as like an elite RB1 the last 2 seasons.
They're all. If I were to tier, he's within those guys. I mean, I just like Chase Brown's. I like the offense that the Bengals are running stronger. Derrick Henry's powering through. I could put HM back there. Taylor, those guys are. If I were tiering, all those guys would chunk together with you. Like my guys would be in a tier with you, but I would have Hampton in that tier. So that would be my difference because I think Hampton's to the moon this year. I think Hampton's going to go
So
bonkers.
yeah, so we can start with tier three. We'll start with Omari and Hampton. I think Hampton. I mean, I like Hampton. I think he's good. He's injured a lot of last season. The other running backs that came in that filled in for him did really, really well. So I mean, yeah, sure. If Hampton gets all the carries, he could be doing up here for that tier two type of guy. But I'm not necessarily sure he's going to get all the carries. I don't know if he's going to be like a workhorse type running back, like a tier three, like a high end RB2. Sure, I mean, he gets some touchdowns, but who knows if he's going to be in on the running in on the passing game. But I want to see this from Hampton before I'm like, hey, I'm going to have him above James Cook, who's done this 3 consecutive years on an elite level. Like, you got to show me something before I put you ahead of someone like James Cook. Same way with like Aston Genty. Like, I need to see it. I need to see that you're elite before I can put you above, these elite
Well, you got
guys.
Jinty with Cook, so he's in it. Like I think Jinty got the touches last year.
Sure.
Hampton's like I'm just following Mike McDaniel. I'm following what he did and what I saw him do with uh Raheem Mostert. He made Raheem Mostert a freaking
Yeah.
stud for fantasy. So I'm following that through, and then I'm looking like, yeah, Vidal played well. They brought in the kid out of Baltimore.
Vidal played really good.
Yeah. So this guy Hampton is a better player than Vidal.
Maybe.
From seeing what he's played and all that.
Maybe.
And I just think that team's going to be through the moon. I think James Cook, I can also do him down. Like DJ Moore, who I don't like, is going to help. Is going to take some of those passes. They weren't throwing the receivers before because their receivers sucked, except for Diggs when Diggs was there. So and Cook was there with Diggs. So, but I just think sometime I'm going to be right and he's going to fall down. I know he is. I'm not a James Cook
Well,
believer.
sure. If you sit here and say it every year, you're going to be right
Yeah,
eventually on
eventually,
somebody,
like
unless
Jordan
it's
Mason, I
Derrick
was wrong
Henry.
every year on Jordan Mason, and this year I'll be right.
All these guys are going to. I mean, all these guys are going to suck at some point, sure. Uh, so the rest of tier three, I mean, this tier could probably be split into two as well. I got Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, Javonte Williams, Kim Walker, Josh Jacobs, Brees Hall, Jeremiah Love, and Chase Brown.
I
I could,
didn't know where to put him. You didn't have this. That's where you would put Chase Brown, right? In third, tier
yeah,
three.
I could almost put Chase Brown in tier two with
Yeah.
in the same area with Williams and Achane. What they've done the last few seasons and the kind of offense that they're in. So I mean, he would be fine right there with tier two. Like either way. Um, Jeremiah Love. I mean, honestly, I feel like if you can put like someone like Amarion Hampton at number 6, you could almost put Jeremiah Love that high as well. I know Amarion Hampton's on a better team, but if you go by that philosophy, why couldn't you put Jeremiah Love right up there with Devon Achane? They're both on bad teams. Jeremiah Love has a very good shot of being an elite running back. People that are running backs that are drafted as high as Jeremiah Love don't fail;
No,
they
they don't.
succeed. So I could
Right?
almost. I was considering putting Love in tier two, but like I said, I just want to see something. I want to see something first before I go put them up there. But I got confidence that Love will be the guy.
See, I don't have confidence he's going to be an elite fan. He's going to be a great running back, but there's too much. Same reason, like I think Bucky Irving has a bounce back year, but they gave a lot of money to Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell touched the ball.
Well, when you
They have Love
not a
coming
lot.
in.
I mean, basic
Kenny
running back
Gainwell
money.
made he's making like
That's not a
$7 million
lot of money in the NFL.
for a running back.
No,
That's a lot of
they throw
money.
away. That's like 7 million is like a base salary in these days in the
Running backs
NFL.
don't make like the elite running backs make a boat ton.
Like
Um,
if you're a running back that can play, you're going to get that much money. So I mean, $7 million with the way the salary cap is today. I mean, running backs now are starting to get $25 million. So everybody's getting more money.
Kenny Gainwell and Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier is making 6 million. Kenny Gainwell is making 7. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's about the 20th highest paid running back in the league. Tyler Algier is the like 22nd, give or take here. Is that
Okay.
and that's pretty stinking high considering you're going down to. I mean, you're Jeremiah Love's probably making less than that. I don't even know if
Well,
with the
he's a
rookie,
rookie. I
so
mean,
he's getting the rookie salary. But
Jeremiah Love's contract is based on.
you got the rookie guys getting doomed there on the lower end. But as far as up there, as far as guys they signed, they gave a scat back that much money. He's gonna touch some ball. They
Oh,
gave
sure,
Algier
he's
so much.
going to
I think
touch the ball, but that doesn't mean
they're gonna keep. So they're not gonna
he has.
crush Love this year.
Gainwell has been good for 1 year in his entire
1 month
career,
in his entire
and
career.
it was
1 month.
because Aaron Rodgers dumps the ball off constantly. Baker Mayfield is not a dump off type of quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, he might finish as a low end RB2. Cool. But, I mean, they throw away money like it's change. So, I mean,
Tyron's only making 11. James Cook's making 11.5. So we're talking $5 million, which is not a lot
yeah,
in the
but I'm
scheme of
also
things.
not comparing Gainwell to James Cook.
But the point is, James Cook's not making that much more money than Gainwell.
Well, when they made their money, the running back money had an advantage. Like the last 2 years, if James
Didn't
Cook
James
was
Cook
to
get
get
his
if
contract
James
last year?
Cook was to get paid right
James
now,
Cook
he'd
just got
probably get
last year.
16, $17 million a year.
He got his contract last year though. 2025 was James Cook's new contract. So they only gave him 11.5 million a year. So I just think the money's going to follow. Money follows.
I,
I
I,
think Algier's going to get, and I think they're going
I
to play him
certainly
more, and
disagree.
that's why my love ranking people is not a popular one. I got him at 22.
So you got Love that low because he doesn't make that much money.
No, because there's a second running back that they're paying that's going to take away the touches. Like he's not going to get every down touches. We've seen, like last year we
Like
had
I said, but they're
Ashton
not
Lee got all the touches
paying.
and he
But
was
it's
not out.
but he's a back. But it's not that much money as far as like the salary cap goes. Like it's still
Gibbs
$6
is
million,
still
$7 million
22
for
if
a
you're top
backup running
tier.
back. Sure,
Saquon's making 20.
I understand.
So he's not making much less is the point.
But like you said, if Kenny Gainwell his money is so valuable to you, why is he at 37?
Because he's still Kenny Gainwell.
Exactly. So
But
that money doesn't
what I'm
matter.
referring to, I don't even have
Money
Tyler
doesn't.
Algier on here.
So
Tyler
there.
Algier is a guy that I think is going to affect, but they're going
So
to affect.
therefore, in
They're not
turn,
going to be.
money doesn't really matter if you got him all the way down there.
But it's not that they're not, Kenny Gainwell's not going to be an RB1. Tyler Algier is not even on my list here. He's like right outside of. He's like I think he's 38, 39 on my list. But they're going to eat enough into it that it's going to keep Love and Irving, who are actually right there beside each other, from going higher. DeAndre Swift, he looked really good last year, but so did Kyle Monangai. So both of those guys are within range. I think those guys hurt each other more than Gainwell hurts Irving or Algier hurts Love, but they pull him down enough that they're not up here with me looking at like Travis Etienne, who's got Alvin Kamara. He just signed, he got a lower deal to stay in. I think he's going to steal some of the work. So Etienne might, or Achan, whatever his name is now, might drop because I think they might use Alvin Kamara the way they used him years ago and give Achan some of the in New Orleans. Some of them
So
are running backs.
so Jeremiah Love couldn't have a Brees Hall type season.
He could. Oh, he totally could.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
But I
you got
have Brees Hall having a better season because Brees
Brees Hall
Hall's
at 13. Jeremiah Love could easily be 13th as well. But like I said, I mean, I understand. I mean, it's a bad team, but
and for me, Love it's not bad teams and running backs so much. I mean, Steve, I said to Steven Jackson earlier, bad
yeah,
teams,
bad
yeah,
good
certain
running
running
backs
backs.
are on bad
Love's a
teams,
big
sure.
Love's a big running back. Like he is usually prevents you from being elite. So I mean, you're talking you got Love essentially setting eight like about
He was
like
he
top.
was
He's like 13, 14 there for you.
he was
Like
drafted as RB4. Every running back that's been drafted that high turns out to be elite. Why is any different than him?
because I'm going with the Algier thing. I just think they're both together, and I think it's
So
gonna pull
was
him
you
back. The other guys weren't drafted. I mean,
so was
Bijan's
you this
numbers his rookie year were
so was
good,
you
but
so
not
was you
great.
this down on Bijan when he went to play with Algier?
I was worried the first year on Bijan. I didn't have Bijan as what he was now,
No,
and
sure, nobody did, but you did.
Algier did eat into. If you look at Bijan's rookie year, Algier did eat into him and prevent him from being that stud the rookie year. That if he wasn't there, Bijan's rookie year would have been higher than it really was. If you look at like I'm
But
trying to pull up his
he was still RB9 in his rookie year with
you
Algier
got
eating into his workload.
yeah. So he and I could be wrong. I'll just leave it there. But yeah, it's
All right, so is anybody
he's
else
only
in tier
900
three you
yards.
want to talk about?
RB9. His rookie year, he had 976 yards, 4 touchdowns. Oh, he had 58 receptions. His receptions that rookie year are what got him.
Yeah, so I mean, Jeremiah Love can catch the ball too. I mean,
Yep. That's a real catch. So he could get up the Brees Hall with the catches and whatnot. So yeah.
all right,
So you're down to your
so tier four, I got Quinshon Judkins, Jalen Warren, Cam Scatterbo, Jadarian Price, DeAndre Swift, Calvin Ungot, Travion Henderson, and Ramondre Stevenson. The last four feel like they're going to be in, pretty much a split running back committee. So it's going to be hard for either one of those guys to like really get to the top. Jalen Warren, again, he's with Rico Dowdle, but I think Warren is way better than Dowdle. Dowdle can't pass block, can't catch. I think the Steelers really, really like Warren. So Dowdle will play, but he's just going to be like more like a first, second down type guy. Scatterbo, I don't know. I'm not too excited about Scatterbo. I mean, it is you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. Judkins, he plays for the Browns. Started out strong.
he doesn't
So,
catch
I
though.
mean, I
That's
think
the
he's
problem.
going to be good. I mean, I think Jeremiah Love will be better than Quinshon Judkins. But like I said, I mean, all these running backs. I mean, if I got, I would love to have these guys as like my flex option. But these guys aren't going to be a flex option. These guys are going to be somebody's RB2.
What about two names I'm seeing that aren't there? Is this where you would put Bashan Tootin?
No,
Would he be in the
absolutely
next
not.
list?
I would probably put Tootin in tier 5 because he hasn't really done anything. I mean, he looked good at times, but I mean, he was a rather low draft pick. Like I can't necessarily put him in tier 4. I know Jadarian Price hasn't done anything either, but he was a first round pick. So they're going to try to they're going to try to work him into the into the game a lot more than I say someone like two probably gonna start. And he might be good, sure, but
I can't figure him out. Like he moves up and down. Him, I think both like in Pittsburgh. I don't want anything in that backfield. I got them both way low. Like
what, you
outside
don't
of
want Jalen Warren?
no, I
Why
don't want
not?
Jalen Warren. The Jalen Warren
So
is
what
going
he
to be
did
on
last
Rico
year
Dowdle.
doesn't make you want to like
No, because he took Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle came in there, and
Rico.
Rico Dowdle was killing it last year. Like let's look at Rico Dowdle's last year in stinking terrible Carolina.
Sure, I
And
understand
he had
Rico
a great year.
Dowdle.
So you have two running backs. They're going to split. It's going to be a split
There was
backfield.
they had two running backs last year with your boy Kenny Gainwell, and Jalen Warren was still a top 24 running back.
Jalen Warren didn't eclipse 1,000 yards rushing and had 8. So he had 8 touchdowns. That's nothing to get me excited to think he's going to do anything. Whereas Rico Dowdle, I'm going to gamble if I pull him up right now, had a better year. Rico Dowdle had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and so 200. So he had one less touchdown, but more rushing yards. So they were about the same person, give or take, plus or minus with receiving and rushing. So they're going to split right down the stinking middle, meaning one week it could be one guy.
Well,
Well,
I don't think they're splitting down the middle at all because one, Rico Dowdle can't pass block or catch the ball. So Jalen Warren's gonna get all the third down stuff.
Well, then
So
maybe Dowdle gets
all the
the rest.
passes that went to Kenny Gainwell that made him so special to you are going to go to Jalen Warren
Why didn't they go to Warren last year? If Warren's
because they
so
had Kenny
good,
Gainwell.
Kenny Gamble was good for 1 year, 1 month. He was good the last month of the year. The first 4 months they threw to nobody. I mean, Jalen Warren had 40 receptions, so that's what 3 a game, and so Dowdle had 2, but he didn't have dump off Rogers. So give him dump off Rogers versus Bryce Noodle Arm Young or whatever, and
But that's
like,
just
I just
it.
think they.
Dowdle doesn't pass block, so he's not going to be in there for passing downs.
See, we'll see. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want either
And he
guy on the
finished
team.
he had Kenny Gainwell last year, and he still finished as RB17. I mean, he's going to be a big part of that offense.
I think the Steelers are in for a. I think they're going to slow down.
Well, they
I just
can't get
don't.
much
Aaron
slower than
Rodgers.
they did last year. They were dreadful. I mean, how much worse can they get than they were last year?
The Browns will beat them sometime.
Probably not.
That yeah. They're neither of those teams really. Like I think it's a 2-team race in there, and it's just the terrible Bengals defense will keep them from passing the Ravens in that division.
So you got Chuba Hubbard, who didn't even play that much last year above Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
Chuba Hubbard might not even start this year.
Chuba Hubbard might move. Before I did this, I moved Brooks in. I moved Hubbard. Those are 2 other guys. Like Chuba Hubbard is right there with like Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks. I should move Monungai above Hubbard and just put Brooks. I should put all 4 of those guys and just pull them out of a hat and see who I get. I think those 4s are a disaster. Brooks could be the best of the 4 of these guys if he plays like he was supposed to play and his knees hold together, but that's the Christian McCaffrey if on a not as good player. So like Monungai I love. So I almost put Achan too high, but Monungai too low because he's like my other favorite guy on there to throw in. And then up there, like a guy you don't have that I love, J.K. Dobbins. I'm gambling. I'm a gambling man this year, but if J.K. Dobbins, once again, when he played, looks great. The best ability is availability. But if you look when he played for that team, and he's already a hammy? Is that what it was? He said the other day, I was like, oh crap, I'm on J.K. Dobbins train. But if he's playing, R.J. Harvey, he did okay last year, but they don't seem to be a fan of him because they drafted Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman could be a sneaky guy to watch, but if J.K. Dobbins pulls off a minor miracle, which some guys have done later in their career, and plays all the games, or say he plays 14 games, he's going to end up
Sure.
being a mid to high end RB2.
You know who
Right
else
there.
is going to be a high end mid RB2? Jalen Warren, because he's going to play all the games because he doesn't have it really
I think we
doesn't
got.
have
I
an
think we
injury
got
history.
a J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Warren. I need somewhere to keep a bet on J.K. Dobbins. Romeo Dobbs got screwed by A.J. Brown, so J.K. Dobbins or Jalen Warren, which guy finishes better? I need to put a note somewhere for that for us. Anybody that listens to us on the regular, just call us out. Be like, hey, who finishes better? Maybe I'll put a post up.
Like
J.K. Dobbins and Jalen
I'm not
Warren.
going to sit here and say Jalen Warren is a great running back,
Oh yeah,
but
if their
Pittsburgh
peaks rookie
really
stats is
likes
like
him. He's going to play a lot, and that just means there's going to be production. That's all I'm saying.
so I think Rico takes it. So it's
Like I
we got
said,
see
tier 5 is just all the committee back guys. You've got
a
like
slew of them.
Denver with Dobbins. You got Carolina with Brooks and Hubbard. Minnesota with Mason and Jones. The Commanders with Bill and White, and then Jacksonville with Rodriguez and Tootin. Tootin's probably going to be the guy there. Like I said, all those guys, I just want them as like flex guys that hopefully maybe can be a little better. I think what I'm most interested in is Jonathan Brooks, because it wasn't very hard for Rico Dowdle to take over from Chuba Hubbard. So I mean, if Jonathan Brooks' knee is looking good, I don't think it's going to be very hard for him to take over for Chuba Hubbard because
especially because
unless
Hubbard's hurt.
unless Hubbard has 0 people behind him, then yeah, he'll be the best running back on the team. But as long as there's another running back behind him, he won't be the best running back on the team.
So yeah, the committee backs are messy this year, and I think in the NFL as they get smarter, they get messier. So I mean, even your tier four is committee backs. You're looking at Henderson, Stevenson. Like I think once Stevenson goes, Henderson's gonna he should go to the moon, right?
Maybe it should.
Um, Swift has a year or two left. Could Monungai be the guy that goes to the moon? You know that it's an interesting one to see there. You got Price up there in tier four. Would Price slow down because there's rumors of Charbonnet coming in sooner? What would that move? Does that worry you about Price? He is a first round pick, late first round, but so is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I didn't realize he's not even in the league. He's like 26 years old. It's crazy. I was looking at his age the other day. But does the fact that Charbonnet is healing faster, does that make you think different? Well, you had Price there in tier four. I don't even think I have either of those guys in here. Now I got Price at 25, and Charbs I want to move back up because he's coming back, but he's going to be
Not,
the goal line back. And does
I
that
mean,
worry
not
you at all?
really, because I mean, when Kenny Walker was there, I mean, Kenny Walker was still finishing, RB 15, 16, 17. Now, granted, Charbonnet wasn't getting a lot of the work at that point. But I think at this stage, I mean, 20 to 24 for Price, maybe the same for like Charbonnet once he comes back. But I don't know if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to come back in and just be like full like workload like he was in last season up until the point he got hurt. But yeah, I mean it'll be split. I mean just like Swift and Monongai. I mean it's split pretty even. I mean the coaching just likes both of those guys. Same with Henderson and Stevenson. I don't see much of a difference between Price and Charbonnet.
All right. I was curious where they would fall because, yeah, I think Sharp is going to fall right in the same spot, and then he'll be a free agent next year, and it'll be interesting to see where he signs and what goes. Like, I think for Dynasty guys, keep an eye on him. He might fall into a spot, and there's truthers on him that believe he's a true 3 round back. Like, coming in, he was supposedly a guy they liked a lot. So, back to the questions that I posed as you get there. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, and let's say your top 2 tiers and Devon Achan, who could you see crushing your teams like Bijan, Gibbs, Taylor Cook, Henry, Genty, Barkley, Williams? Of those guys, who do you see as a guy that you'd be like, you're drafting these guys early? And you're like, oh, crud, that guy totally falls on his face. Who's got the most likely chance of that?
I don't think any of them do.
Zero. Wow.
I don't think any of these guys fail, and like unless it's like I said, unless
Agreed.
it's an injury. But I'm not counting that. I don't think any of these guys fail. I mean, they're all going to get to work, and as long as you get to work, you might not. It might not be efficient, but it's going to be. They're going to still going to put up numbers. I mean, it's going to be hard for these guys to fail.
Like my only name that worries me, but I have him like everywhere, so I'm a believer in him, is Kyron Williams with the Blake Corum, as you mentioned earlier. So does Blake Corum take that next step? If he does, then I'm worried about Kyron Williams losing some, but I'm also thinking in the fourth quarter that team is so good. Both these guys, I mean, we could have a 1,200 yard, 750-yard running back duo in here. Maybe, haven't there been teams that have like 2,000-yard guys? It's a possibility with this team being just that good. Okay, let's look at Hampton, Achan, Montgomery, Javante, Walker, Jacobs, Hall, Love, or Chase Brown. Which one of those guys, this is a bold prediction, has a chance to jump into the tier one and be like a league winner kind of guy for you?
Well, I think Jeremiah Love. I mean, I think Jeremiah Love is could could be could be the guy. I mean, I think Hampton has a chance. But all the other guys are like just I don't want to say just guys, but I mean they're like kind of like high in RB2, low in RB1 types. I mean that's where they've always finished. They've never really gotten much higher than that. Josh Jacobs, I mean he's been a stud his whole career, but I mean he's
Mm-hmm.
getting a little older. But all these other guys are just like mid range, kind of like running backs. Jeremiah Love is the only one that doesn't have a past that I could be like, he's just a guy. I think Jeremiah Love is more than just a guy.
Yeah, I think of those, I mean, he does have the ability to get there. And see if I'm wrong, he could hit it up there. I think a guy in there that won't be a tier one, but that is getting drafted later that could change your team is Montgomery. We're both higher on Montgomery than a lot of people are as far as ECR. And I'm just looking at a dude who's always played great. He's an excellent pass rusher. He's a 3 down back, and you're getting a 3 down back in a system with an improved team that he's going what, round 4, round 3, round 4, somewhere in that. You're getting him after getting some super studs in front of him. That's going to change your team. I've got him in a lot of places, so I could be really wrong. I have Williams and Montgomery as a lot of my anchor backs that I'm running with, and I'm praying. But I just see Montgomery. I have him at 14. I really want to put him at like 12, but I just can't put him ahead of Saquon or Brees Hall. But I just think he's a guy that could really adapt some teams, go and really stretch. Of your tier 4 guy, Judkins, Warren, Scadaboo, Price, Swift, Monungai, Henderson, Stevenson, which one of those guys could be a RB1?
I don't think any of them really are going to be an RB1. They're just all going to eat in each other's like workload. I mean, I'd,
Healthy Scadaboo.
I'll say Jalen Warren could be like maybe RB12. I think he's going to play a lot more. He's going to get a lot more catches. So I mean that might help him out a little bit. Maybe Junkins just because he's the guy and he's more of like a 3 down workload type. But I'm
Samson's
not
got good
drafting any of these guys thinking that there's RB1 potential type.
I'll throw in Scadaboo there. I mean, Scadaboo's problem is the way he runs. So he's a health guy. If Scadaboo can learn to not get blown up every time he runs, he
He's
could
a running
he
back.
yeah, but I'm talking about like if he runs like a fullback, and so if he can learn to run like a running back, I don't know how that would work for him to figure that out. But it's his hard running style, and behind him, you're looking. Are you work? Tyrone Tracy is not. I mean, he played well, actually, very well, surprisingly when Scadaboo went down. So it's Tyrone Tracy. You're looking at Devin Singletary. Those are the running backs that you have in New York, who's still not a great team either. Is that Scadaboo could sneak up there once again if he's healthy, because he's the back in town. I poo-pooed him too. I got him at 19. I think he could sneak up there, and he could sniff that if he goes through the season. It could be an interesting one. One committee back. We'll close out on this. One committee back in all of those hodgepodge mess committees that's going to be like, you know what? Heck with you. Not named Jonathan Brooks because that's a popular pick. One of those committee backs that could come out and all of a sudden become a usable running back. They're going to be, the rest of the committee is going to be like, of your mess of committees. Jonathan Brooks is a popular. He's trendy. He's probably. I bet you by the time we start the season, he'll be an RB2 drafted like that.
Maybe Jordan Mason. Maybe Aaron Jones. Really, really old. Doesn't really fell off a lot last year. Mason has a little more. I think a little more left in the tank. I don't know. I mean, it's not really excited about it. Maybe Rachaad White because you get a lot of passes. I mean, I feel like that running back room is wide open. So maybe,
I
maybe
got Bucky at 23, so Bucky Irving's probably my pick to go there. Saying, I'm going against my Kenny Gainwell argument. Like
I was
Bucky
about
Irving
to
just
say,
can't win
so
RB2.
you think Bucky Irving's going to, this is not making any sense. So the arrival of Kenny Gainwell does nothing to Bucky Irving,
No, he
but
has
the
him.
arrival
Irving's
of
running back
Rico
23.
Dowdle destroys Jalen Warren?
Oh yeah, Bucky Irving's a better running back. Like Jalen Warren, I don't. Jalen Warren doesn't move the needle for me.
Well,
I've watched
how is Bucky
Waddle
Irving
Long for
better
3
than,
years.
so how is Bucky Irving better than Jalen Warren?
Bucky Irving was hurt last year. So Bucky Irving's, I can't find the stinking name here. Bucky Irving's rookie year was better than anything Jalen Warren has ever done. Where is Bucky stinking Irving? Here he is. Bucky Irving's rookie year is, we're going to look at Bucky Irving ran for 1,122 yards. Jalen Warren has never eclipsed 1,000 yards in 3 years. Bucky Irving last year in 10 games had 588. So he was on pace for another 1,000 yards season. The injuries just obliterated him last year, and he got the surgery. He's got it back. They say he's healthy coming in. So he's a better running back than Jalen Warren. I don't believe in Jalen Warren. I don't think he's a very good running back. I've watched him run. An NFL running back. Everybody's a great running back. I mean, all these guys that we think suck are stellar athletes, but Bucky Irving's a better player. Kenny Gainwell will steal those passes, but
an RB16 season is that much worse than an RB13 season?
Not in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. No, I mean, but I mean, you're gonna. I mean, thing is, who will I draft? I mean, I think they're both getting drafted together. I think Irving and Jalen Warren, probably in the big picture, are probably getting drafted within 4 picks of each other, right? Because they're on that same kind of mess. So, okay, well, give us some wisdom, and let's get out of here as we get ready for pass catchers next week.
Yeah, I really don't have much wisdom. I didn't even think about it at all this week. So I mean, it was kind of not on my mind, not really on my mind. Or you got anything to send us off
I'll
with?
give you wisdom. My wisdom is I became old this week. I
Oh,
turned
that's right. Happy
47 last week. So
birthday.
now we're both old. You were June, I was August. My daughter was, the thing that I did is I started doing on birthdays. I do a workout where I work out and I do the number of reps for whatever year I am. So I was exhausted. That's a lot of reps. But I started this little thing, did a little Instagram reel from other podcasts talking about my daughter almost got me this card. Hey, you're 47. The great news about that is you no longer have to worry about dying young. So if you take care of your body, work to your 47, you no longer have to worry about dying young. Words of wisdom. Made me laugh out loud.
So say that again. I want to hear that one. I don't know if I was real
The
listening
card
to
said, "Happy 47th
it.
birthday." And it had a lot of other things. The good news is you don't have to worry about dying young anymore.
Well, so what do you think? So what do you consider? At what point are you old?
I think it's how you live. Like people ask me how old I am, and I always say I'm hopefully halfway there. I
Sure.
mean, the average age, like once I get to 80, I'm going to wake up every day and go, "Thank you God for another day."
Well, sure.
So I mean, old. I think it'll change once our kids are gone. So like your daughter's going to graduate this year, so you're going to feel a little older next year because she's not around as much. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
got a couple years. I think the kids make you feel old, not having kids. Yet.
I will feel older, but I won't necessarily feel old.
Movement depends on like my parents noticed. They noticed really when they hit 70, like a lot of stuff slowed down. So I think it depends upon
Sure.
how your body, how you feel. Like I joke about feeling old. I'm fine. I'm moving around. I mean, I did 47 burpees for my
Yeah.
birthday. It was exciting, I ran 47 50-yard dashes. So, but
The way my knee feels at this point, and the way my ankle feels at this point, I feel like I got old legs. So I mean, I
I
might.
got old knees. Lunges are like waterboarding for me. So there's certain. I mean, a lot of it's how you live. Like a lot. If you look at people our age, there are grandparents our age. There are people that look our age. Like we don't look like spring chickens, but we don't look. There are some people our age that look so old,
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
because
only in our
they
late
probably
40s.
lived a rougher
Yeah.
life
They
than
didn't
we
live the
have.
bougie drama teacher butcher.
It,
We had
I
to.
mean, to be fair, I've probably lived a lot rougher life than you have.
Oh yeah,
Um,
up there in the elementary school setting for the last 20 couple
yeah,
years. We
you're
were
more
chubbing up and taking care of animals.
between the two of us. You're more of a straight edge. You're straight edge type of guy. There was a time in my life where I like to party. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I had the years. You told me there's stuff you'll never tell me, so I know that yours went way crazy, way
Yeah, yeah. I
crazier
mean,
than mine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You had your
had
college
some years,
years.
but not as stretched. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like you hit it pretty well in your college years, but after college, I feel like you kind of straightened out a
no,
little bit.
I did this for a couple
It it
years.
it took me a lot longer to straighten out. So, but I mean, it's not like I was
We're
in too
okay.
deep or anything like that. I mean, I wasn't living
Yeah,
on the street or I didn't have
not
any
slinging
I
rock.
didn't I didn't have any like problems or anything like that. But I like to party. So so as always, trust yourself and trust the process.